Hello, thank you for joining me for my Desert Island Discs. I was set this little challenge by my friend Malcolm, who this video is primarily for, but I'm addressing it to more people than Malcolm in case anyone else wants to watch it, because I have an overinflated sense of my own value and people's need to watch me, which you probably know already because I've told you about it. So that's why you're watching it. But you are watching it, so maybe I was right. I don't know. So anyway, I had a lot of fun with Malcolm choosing this list. Here's my page and a half of crossings out and writings down and all the different songs, and then trying to sort of weigh out what I should put in there. I've just realised I haven't even thought about the luxury item, so I'm going to write that down to remember that I've got to come up with that at the end. So what I've done is I've put together a playlist on YouTube of the 8 songs, so you can play them, but I'll talk you through the choices one by one now. So you can maybe watch this video in conjunction with the YouTube playlist and pause it if you want to when it comes to the songs as I introduce them. So my name's Steve, 49 years old, married to Tracy, got 3 children. Louise, who's born in 1991, who's grown up and married and living in Clifton, and then I've got Dexy and Devon, who I've had with Tracy, Dexy in 2009, Devon in 2013, and they're sitting currently in the other room with Tracy doing some homeschooling because we're in lockdown. The first song I've chosen is a song by Pulp, and Tracy and I both loved Pulp independently before we met. I mean, Pulp were the band, I think, for Britpop when I was going through the mid-90s. I know Oasis and Blur are always thought of as a sort of being the Britpop bands, but for me it was all about Pulp. Jarvis was the ultimate rock star, more than Liam, more than Damon. He was just so cool, and I loved his dancing. He just, the way the songs built, the sort of rock and roll element to them as well, it was just amazing. Common People is an anthem for the whole country, and that's not what I've chosen, but that's an incredible song. Babies, I remember Tracy and me driving back from Wales, listening to that song, and just the way that song builds to a crescendo, and the lyrics are just incredible. Do you remember the First Time is another one with that sort of slow burning, the bass was just sort of dun 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 dun. But I didn't choose that one either. The song I chose, I remember when I saw them at Wembley with my cousin, and I remember his introduction to this song just blew me away, and he talked about that feeling of when you're at home and you're feeling awkward and anxious, and you've got a choice of whether you stay in or go out, and you're almost afraid to go out because of what might happen, but you're also afraid of staying in because of the opportunity that you might miss. And the song sort of goes through that sort of process and that journey in your head. But this song has a happy ending, so he might have stayed at home that day, but instead he decided to go out, and imagine if he hadn't gone out, he wouldn't have met the girl that he's singing the song to. But he did go out. If he didn't go out, there could have been a sliding doors moment, and he could have been singing that song to someone else instead. And yeah, I think that's why I chose it for me and Tracy, because you just don't know how your life's going to pan out. But I always thought our lives were running in a sort of a parallel, and we have known each other for probably 10 years before we got together, but our lives ran in a parallel sort of thing way before that. Tracy went to dance class when my mum played the piano, and my sisters were there, and there's all sorts of different bits where we could have met. We had mutual friends, so it's just about that some point along the way we had that sort of sliding doors moment where we met, and it couldn't have happened, but it did happen, so that's great. So the first song is Something Changed by Pulp, and I hope you enjoy it. So the next song I'm going to choose is just my first pop passion, and that was a band called the Thompson Twins. And really I just liked them because there was a girl I fancied that liked them as well, so I thought I'd try and be cool and like the same bands. But it never worked out for me and the girl. I don't even think she knew who I was. But the Thompson Twins, I just thought they were super cool. And this song was in 1984, so I'm 13 years old. And when you're 13 years old, your band is like your football team. So, you know, some of the girls were into Duran Duran, some were into Spandau Ballet, some were into Wham. Yeah, and, you know, your favourite band was the team that you supported, and you would wear their t-shirts and you'd just be hanging with everything. And I remember with the Thompson Twins buying every single, every 12-inch, every US remix of the song. Yeah, I saw them a couple of times, and their star burned briefly, really. They probably had 3 sort of big albums, but I'm quite pleased that my musical taste, you know, in the end, Tom Bailey is still going, and he's got such credibility as an artist, and he's still making music and still making songs. And he for a long time, he turned his back on the sort of Thompson Twins work, and he focused on all sorts of other sort of world music. But he came back in the past sort of 4 or 5 years and has revisited those songs, and found it really interesting. And he took it as an experience and sort of revisiting them. And he had to go and buy the CDs to actually learn the songs again, because he didn't have them anymore. And some of them he looked at the songs again, and you know, he wrote extra verses for them, which was just, you know, as a fan, I thought that was just fantastic. And he sort of took them a little bit further and developed the ideas. And that is like when you have that with songs, where a song is, how do you decide when a song's finished? You know, when you release it, you give it over, but actually in your head the song might carry on developing. And I love the fact that after 30 odd years, he developed a song that sort of, the tune had been going on, and he knew it was popular with people, and he thought about it a bit more, and then he wrote another verse for it. So the Thompson Twins song I chose is the first one I bought by them, and it's a song called You Take Me Up, and it's got a great sort of mechanical rhythm to it, and then a sort of a little bit of a reggae feel as well, the great harmonica. And yeah, I like the video, and I just like the song, and I had the 12-inch version of this song. So I hope you enjoy You Take Me Up. The next song I've chosen is another one I bought as a single when I was, I guess, 14 years old, and it's a song by Billy Bragg, although this version is by Kirsty MacColl. It's A New England. I think it's a anthem for our country. Again, everybody loves this song. It's even more poignant, obviously, because we lost Kirsty. I think she sang it beautifully. Billy Bragg wrote an extra verse for her, so he'd written this song, he'd released it, and for him that was done. And then Kirsty MacColl came along and wanted to record it, and asked him if he could make it a bit longer, so he wrote her another verse. So that song took on a bit more life, and when he sings it now, he dedicates it for the final verse to Kirsty MacColl every time when he sings it. Yeah, I love being drunk and singing, I don't want to change the world. So I hope you enjoy New England. So the next song I've chosen because it sort of covers a few bases. So I love this song. You start off and you make a list of your sort of favourite bands and your favourite artists, and this is not a band that would sort of feature that highly. I don't have any of their albums. I've just got this one song by them. But it's the Waterboys, and I think this song is just a work of genius. It's called The Whole of the Moon, and it's a tribute by the writer to another artist who he's just in awe of. And I don't think he's ever said who it is, and lots of people have speculated, but I think it's fairly accepted that it's probably a bit of 3 different artists. Maybe, I think it was Van Morrison and Bob Dylan and Prince. And you know, you can sort of feel the Prince line in the song, because he says he's comparing himself to what he does and how he writes songs to how these other people, these other artists write songs, and how he just cannot even sort of touch their coattails. And the line about Prince just, I think, is brilliant. He just says, I sighed, but you swooned. And I think that's just fantastic, and it's a great song. So I hope you like it as much as I do. The next song I've chosen is a song, and there are only 2 songs on this list, he says, just double checking. Yeah, 2 songs on this list of 8 that are sung by female vocalists. And obviously New England was covered by Kirsty MacColl, but this is an original song by Pink, and although it's a duet, and she's had such a great career. She's sort of really kept herself going, and I think I like her because she's not the sort of a diva warbler who's sort of sung, but she's got such a strong voice, and her career has been varied. And this song just gave me reason. I remember being on holiday and I just heard it coming out of a bar, and it was such a strong tune, and it just sounded amazing. It was played really loud from a distance as well. I think the harmonies on it are great. I love everything about this song, and I think her performance is fantastic. The next song is by the Proclaimers. So another band that I bought my first Proclaimers album when I was probably 15 years old, and I've sort of liked them from the very beginning, from hearing Letter from America and 500 Miles. But they're a great band, they're such poets, and the song I've chosen by them is a song that just, when you hear a crowd singing it, it sends shivers down your spine. This song's called Sunshine on Leith, and the version I've put on the playlist is a live version, because you can hear the crowd singing along to it. And if you do go to a concert and that sort of moment when everybody's singing the same song, and I love just looking around and seeing people singing, and that joy and the feeling of unity. And it's, and that's like a football crowd moment for this song, and it's almost become a Scottish national anthem. And there were dozens of songs I could have chosen by the Proclaimers, but this is fantastic, so I hope you enjoy it. The next song I've chosen is a song by a band called the Bare Naked Ladies. I remember them introducing themselves. They're not bare, they're not naked, and they're not ladies, but I'm sure lots of lots of jokes have gone behind their name anyway. And they're a Canadian band, and they've got a singer called Stephen Page who has just got the most incredible voice, lovely tone to it. Tracy and I saw him a couple of years ago in Cambridge in a chapel, and he just played with a guitarist and a cellist, and he was really incredible. And part of the show, he just turned the PA off, turned the mics off, and sang, and just let the acoustics of the room flow around. And this song is called What a Good Boy, and it's just super. It's got a moment 2 minutes through where it just sends chills down my spine. It's just amazing, amazing. I hope you enjoy it. The final song on my list is a song written by Paul Heaton, and another man that I followed since 1985-86 when he first started with the Housemartins, and I followed his career all the way through. Been really fortunate to have, when there was the Beautiful South, I got to meet them. I wrote them a letter saying, "Dear Beautiful South, would you like to go out for a drink with me? My name's Steve and I'm not weird," and sent it off to the address on the back of the CD. And credit to them, there was such a down-to-earth band. I got a phone call from a lady called Jackie, who was the singer at the time, and she still sings with them now. And actually my dad answered the phone and didn't know what she was talking about, who she was. I wasn't at home, so he just said, "Oh no, he's not in," and then sort of mentioned it to me a day or so later that some bloke had phoned from the Beautiful something, and I was like, what did they say? And I was so frustrated, and I told one of my friends at the time who was who we were going to see the concert with, and she got onto the case and managed to get a phone call through to the rail company, and spoke to their manager and said they phoned us up and they said they'd like to meet us, and we didn't get a proper message about it. So that was my friend Nikki, and she managed to then get us back in contact with them again. So we met them at a show in Cambridge, and sure enough, Jackie said, "Yeah, I phoned your house." I didn't know who I was. That was my dad. Not a big Beautiful South fan, although I do think he knows them now. So I've seen Paul lots of times over the years, lots of times live with my cousins and cousin Lindsay and all sorts of different people, and it's just a fantastic singer. He's got such a beautiful voice again, and this song really shows off his voice. And I love seeing him live. He is playing a concert for NHS workers in October, so I'm going with my sister, who's an NHS worker, to see them. He's done that for free, so he's a real, I guess you call him a socialist, is how he describes himself. He has when he was in the Beautiful South, he just decided that the way to divide the money was, even though he wrote the songs and stuff, he just divided everything 7 ways amongst the other members of the band, because he didn't want any tension in the band about money. And you know, you hear that in music. There's lots of bands where there's one songwriter and they get the lion's share of the cash, and the rest of the band are resentful. But that didn't happen with the Beautiful South, because Paul just wouldn't have that. He was a socialist and he was going to split the money between everybody. And he's a humble man, but he is a very talented lyricist and musician, and a character as well. So that's my music choices. The song is Build, but there could have been dozens of songs by the Beautiful South or Paul on his own. But the Build song was right at the beginning in the Housemartins, when he was with Norman Cook and Stan Collymore and Hugh Whitaker. Although actually, just to be clear, Build was by the time Hugh Whitaker had left by that point, and it was Dave Hemingway who was the drummer in the Housemartins, who then went on to become the drummer in the Beautiful South. So that's my music selection done. I hope you enjoyed them. I apologise because I probably didn't put them in the same order that they are on YouTube, so if you're watching the playlist, you're probably having to flick backwards and forwards. We had a great time choosing those songs. We got through a bottle of wine yesterday, and there are 4 times as many songs on the long list that made it to the short list. And then luxury item. I've got my Bible and the works of Shakespeare. I think the luxury item I'm going to take is my iPad, because I've been getting a lot of joy from making music, and with GarageBand I can make more music and I don't need to have any of the musicians around me. So I'm going to take an iPad as my luxury item to keep me amused and keep me in touch. I think I might be I should be choosing a book as well. And I haven't given that any thought. So just as I'm thinking now, I think I will say I will choose the Guinness Book of Hit Singles, so I can look up any hit that I'm not sure of, and I'm trying to remember a song when that's. If I haven't got Wi-Fi on the island, I'll be trying to think about a song and who sung it, and I won't be able to. So I'll take the Guinness Book of Hit Singles so I can look up any song since 1952 and remind myself of it and just have to hum it. Okay, thanks very much.